I'm at a state where I'm like, I really want to turn it around. I really want to win, and I really want to get to playoffs anyway. And we are 3-6 right now, so it's not hopeless. It's hard, but I think we can still make it.
It's the 5th week of NA LCS with coverage presented by OmniSlash. I'm joined right now by PowerOfEvil to talk about your drought-breaking win, I guess. You guys had a bit of a loose streak there, 5 games. What happened? Why TSM? Why was it a situation where TSM loses to you?
Well, I think we got an insanely good draft, especially for me. I got Victor against Galio, which is a really easy matchup. I'm taking the Kleptomancy, just rising up, farming against him, just making money from him, you know, taking his money away from him. And then I have legit no threat on me. They had Varus ultimate, but I have cleans. And besides that, they had Xin Zhao. I feel like if they took the Camille, that would have been a little bit more scary. But with the Xin Zhao, I felt like the game was really free. And I just told my team to just wait, play the game slow. We're going to win 100%.
So you just won it in draft, it sounds like.
I feel like we won in draft really hard.
Was that, in your mind, was it because of like some master draft from Optic, or is that like TSM just not knowing how to draft right?
Well, maybe they prepared that and they didn't expect a victor or something like this, right? You can never tell, but I think they fucked up draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is going on behind the scenes at Optic? I don't want to imagine. Sometimes I think, and I'm like, that must be rough over there, because there's always the teams that are just struggling, and you know that as great as it feels to be on top, it feels 10 times worse to be struggling down at the bottom.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the Acadian vlog, but it's kind of sad since when you're a pro and you practice the whole week to compete at LCS, and then you just keep losing and losing. And I think it's for me and Matt even a little bit more, since we had this versus Spring Split, and we just kept losing every game, and we never had a 2-0 week. It's like it gets more and more frustrating, and you're like trying to fix the mistakes, but NA LCS players are learning really slow, and they're pretty bad. No, but jokes aside, no, it's like
I could see you're already planning your exit from the NA LCS. You're like, oh yes, the NA LCS players, they're the ones that are bad.
No, jokes aside, it's like we just didn't. In Spring Split, we just didn't find the right synergy, and there was just like no team color. And now in Summer Split, we're doing better, but we are not progressing the basic game knowledge fast enough, I feel like. So there's a lot of games we lose because we are not confident, since the practice in scrims is not good enough. Maybe people are not taking it serious enough. Maybe people don't give 100% effort. But I emphasized a lot that everyone needs to give 120% now in every game, every scrim game, because you're kind of down there in the hole, right? And I know out of my past experiences, especially in Origin 2016, that if you're in the hole and not every player commits and goes that extra mile, you're going to stay on the bottom, and you're going to start flaming each other, you're going to start doubting your teammates, stop trusting your teammates, and that's why I just kept reminding everyone every day that, like, guys, we need to like just give everything and go for the plays. And I think Zeb had a good speech today as well, where he just said like we should have fun and we should just like go for the game-winning play every time and just like don't regret the game. And I think it helped us today a lot.
How has there been a point in time where you're like, why did I come to this shit region?
No, but it's like, it's funny because people are still mad at me after like it's split in half. People are still like, every time I'm losing, it's like, man, you deserve this, you know?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, what I already said, like in a lot of different interviews, I feel like a team which is on paper good is not necessarily good. And a team which is on paper bad isn't necessarily bad. It comes down on if the players are committed to learn, if the players are like, if there's a good chemistry between the players, and if you're gonna have fun and like you want to win, right?
Yeah.
So I really don't understand the people who are getting mad still at me. And at the same time, no, I'm actually pretty happy. The lifestyle is pretty nice. I feel like all the NA LCS players are pretty chill actually, and it's obviously the people who trash talk, but that's fine. That's in every region, and I'm used to more in EU, so it's like this guy just trash talked me, man. In EU, I would have gotten trash talked 10 times worse, you know.
Yeah, EU's a little toxic. Speaking of toxic EU players, a bunch of your friends came over for Rift Rivals, and these guys like
They went ham.
Yeah.
They actually went ham on Twitter. I saw.
Not just on Twitter, but my interviews too. Like Yankos is just like, yeah, like there's just no good practice for us here. You know, like they just really aggressive. But one of the things that is so funny is, as much as they were saying bad things about the region, they like love LA. They think it's like vacation being an LCS pro here, because they're like, the weather's so good and the food is so good and it's so chill.
The studio is so good, Tristan, man. Yeah. It's so insane here, the food. Yeah, they told me everything as well.
And I think they probably assume like you're just over here chilling out, having a good time, eating amazing food, loving the weather, relaxing at the luxurious 5-star NA LCS studio. Did you get that sense from them at all, that they think of you that way?
No, I don't. I think for me, they don't have that sense, since I feel like every pro knows that if you are losing a lot and if you having a bad time in a team, like if it just goes downhill all the time, you're gonna have a bad time. Like you can try to take it relaxed, and then just like keep losing, or you're gonna try to give everything and you're gonna try to turn it around, right? I think I'm not at the state where I'm like, yeah, it's fucking doomed. I'm not gonna practice anymore that much. I'm just gonna chill. I'm at the state where I'm like, I really wanna turn it around. I really wanna win, and I really wanna get to playoffs anyway. And we are 3-6 right now, so it's not hopeless. It's hard, but I think we can still make it.
What do you think of their sense that like life over here is almost too easy and it just makes everyone too comfortable? They were listing that as one of the reasons why NA LCS might be behind, is that like life over here is just too much like vacation.
I feel like it's more the approach on practice. I feel like people are doing a lot of mistakes in scrims, which they wouldn't do on LCS, and that ruins a lot of your practice, team and individual practice. And when you point it out, actually they admit their mistake. It's not like an LCS player is like, nah man, this was not my mistake. They're like, yeah, this is actually really bad, I'm sorry. But then they're gonna do the same mistake next game again. So it's like, I feel like that's why I said as a joke, like they kind of slow at learning. So I don't know if they're like, they don't give 100% effort in scrims, or if they're like, they would die to like a really random shit, and then they would be like, man, this wouldn't happen in a real game. Let's remake the game. You know, it's like, I think like it's more maybe the mindset and attitude, but I think it's getting better. Like especially from spring to summer, I think every team progressed in that for sure.
Do you think so? Because I feel like all the teams are way worse in summer. Like at least
that's what you mean.
Yeah, in summer than spring. Because like at least then we had like a couple of top teams. Like people looked at Echo Fox, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, and they're like, oh man, these guys are so good, right? And now I just look at everybody and I'm like, man, Hooney's just inting, like 100 Thieves is like making crazy roster trades and like trying to figure their stuff out. Team Liquid, you just flip a coin and you either get the worst team in the league or the best.
I think it's like Spring Split is normally like all the teams are getting newly created, right? Yeah. And then the teams who fit together at the start and they're gonna win the first games, they're on the honeymoon phase. I feel like they're doing really good and they're gonna destroy the other teams, especially like Echo Fox, right? Yeah. And I feel like now slowly every team is getting more smart, finding together, and maybe struggling even because it's like longer into the season, right? And I feel like this is the biggest struggle, that like in Summer Split, teams who are really good and who improve throughout the Spring Split are really damn good. And I think you can see this clearly at Misfits. They went 8th place Spring Split and they did pretty damn poor, I would say. But now I think they took all this time to improve individually and as a team every day, and I think they gave all the effort, right? And now in Summer Split, they're like 9-1, they're destroying everyone because they're just on the same page, and I guess they just give every time 100% in scrims, and even so it didn't work out in Spring Split because maybe they didn't find the right groove, the right wave as a team. They have it now, and they're gonna keep destroying people.
I feel like a lot of people hear you say like give 100% in scrims, and it sounds like such a cliche, right? Like as if that's just something that people say. But you honestly think that in scrims a lot of times people are not giving as much as they can. They're not as focused. They're not trying to learn as much. They're not practicing as hard.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah.
And is that across all the different teams?
I think it depends from each player to player. I feel like it's especially since teams have academy teams here in ULCS, I would say players are getting really fat. Like I would say players in the ULCS are really direct. Yeah. If you're doing shit in review, you're getting screamed at, you're gonna get flamed by your coaching staff or by your teammates, right? Yeah. Here it's more like, damn man, it's gonna be good. You inted really hard the last game, but you're gonna do great. Trust me. It's like you're treating them more nicely, I would say, and that is good. It's like it goes both ways, right? If you like flaming a guy and he's like taking the bat and he's losing his confidence, it's really terrible, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you shouldn't treat him too nicely as well, because if he does the same mistake every day and every game, it's like really bad for practice as well.
Yeah.
So you need to find a good balance, and I would say it's not that easy, but that's why you have coaching staff, right?
Yeah.
And
It's weird to hear you say that North America seems to be more relaxed or whatever, because I think historically a lot of people would say North America, especially Americans, a little more productive than Europeans, you know? You guys take like 5 weeks of vacation. This is like a thing.
That's true. You can't deny that one.
Yeah, we're just a more productive country. So I don't know why we're not being more productive in scrims. I don't know what's going on there. Is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Well, I'm pretty happy for everyone who still supports my team or me, especially my German fans who they're legit supporting me every day and writing me nice messages on Twitter and stuff. So thank you guys all, and hope you guys keep cheering for us.
Thank you so much for the interview, PowerOfEvil. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. I want to thank OmniSlash so much for the support of my content. They are on a train right now, a train that you could be on, and that's the Travis train. Just get on that train, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit up my Twitch. We're stopping at all the different stops, all right? This is a train, and it's going far. So get on the train and ride it. Ride that Travis train.